Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esports Show for episode 9. We've called this one, what did we call it, Lewis? We called this something, there it is, Speculation Conjecture. I'm doing well. The heat's got to us here. It has.
It's about 400 degrees in here, and there's, what, a storm going on.
Yeah, so we've gone from having a 35-degree day in Adelaide and expecting this to be very hot to now a massive cold snap and pouring rain.
It's still not cold.
So, no. Just humid, but we're here. We've prepared for the summer edition of the Esports Show with short sleeves, but turns out it's not going to be as hot as we thought. My name's Matthew Judge Brandon. I'm back again. This time we have a special guest on the show. This is Dino, and for those of you that don't know Dino, he is a massive influence in the esports community here in Australia. Does work marketing for Gigabyte and Aorus, which we'll get to in a moment. And of course, I've got Lewis Tibor Gratz on the desk as well.
Yay.
Back again, resident Rocket League fan. He knows nothing about esports, but we just let him sit on this desk every week.
Silvercast extraordinaire.
That's it. We apologise if there is a lot of rain sounds. The studio has a tin roof, and while it sounds amazing and is really relaxing, it's not great for microphone quality. So if it's coming through, we apologise. We're going to try and fix that up. But we figured we'd start with Dino. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in this industry.
Sure. Well, I work for Gigabyte, as you said, and Aorus is one of our brands as well, which you guys probably would have noticed. I'm the marketing manager, and so obviously my role is to, look after anything from sponsorships to product reviews and doing events and all sorts of good things.
Heck yeah!
But I think I come to Adelaide quite a lot, and I like supporting good local community, good gaming events. Right now, we're actually doing a couple of different things at CG Studios. We've got liquid nitrogen in studio, which you probably wouldn't have seen before. So if anyone's showing up to this weekend's con, you'll be able to check that out. We can show you guys around. Yeah.
So this weekend we've got a CSGO land that's happening here for locals.
Yeah. So we're sponsoring that. We'll sponsor the CSGO Nationals as well for the top teams, and we're also sponsoring the Team Australia and Team AU overclocking HW bought Country Cup competition.
Right.
So basically, they are competing in the World Cup of overclocking, and we've won 3 times out of 4 years.
Wow!
So we got beaten last year. We finished second, so we're kind of pushing hard this year to retain our, dominancy over that scene.
Need to get AU back on top.
Hell yeah!
Is that why you've come to train in the 40-degree days of Adelaide?
Well, I love summer. You know what? I'll tell you what. Adelaide, it might be hot, but there's absolutely no humidity here. Like compared to Sydney or like Queensland, you guys have it really easy. So for overclockers, when you're using liquid nitrogen, obviously the air condenses, and you can obviously have moisture problems, all of that, but no issues here.
That's good.
Oh, there you go. So the 40 degrees helps.
Oh yeah, and dry 40 degrees. That's the key point. Don't want that moisture gathering on any components. Yeah. So if you have any questions during the show, we do have live Twitch chat on my laptop here. If you have any questions for Dino throughout the show, any questions for us, make sure you get involved. We're trying to get this to work a little more seamlessly, and we should actually have some Twitter feed coming throughout the show as well.
I think next week. No, next week.
Is that next week?
Yeah, I think we've run ourselves ragged just to get where we are for this week.
Just to be able to get an episode up. So maybe next week we'll have live tweets as well. But moving forward, Lewis, this week had some major events happening, especially with the Blast Pro Series for CSGO.
Yeah, Blast. This actually skipped under my radar here. Big event coming out from Copenhagen in Denmark. So 200.
That was really good.
$250,000 going up for the prize, $125,000 for first. Plus they had a special show match there. Instead of me just sort of banging on about it, we've got a nice little clip for you guys.
Copenhagen! Let me hear you! This is the very first Blast Pro Series. Denmark has turned up in fashion. Are you guys here? Are you ready to watch some Counter-Strike? We have 6 of the world's best teams. The Ninjas in pajamas! G2 Esports! FaZe Clan! SK Gaming! kick this one off.
That's a lot of pressure early on.
This is a lot of pressure on, I mean, you have SK, you know, who are definitely struggling. The pro cards, we can go ahead and bring up one now. Go ahead and look at that real quick and just kind of explain that, a different kind of way to, oh, Jesus. Why?
Why so serious, Sam?
Going to be on SK and North now to battle it out.
That's where your main stream is going to be, your main game of the 3, the minimap. You get to see utilities, your player cams, you get to see your handsome faces of all your favorite pros. 3 games simultaneously. If you want to keep track of all of the action of the other 2, and you are in the arena, that is where Unibet will show their odds, you'll get match updates, announcements.
If Astralis win, and so too do North, North make it through to the final with Astralis. If SK beat North, SK can make it through. No bomb plant yet, does have it. His hand was looked away from jungle exactly when Volts peaks, and that's done 16-12. SK have given themselves a chance. They will now sit with bated breath, and if Astralis close out the next 2 rounds, SK are in the final. We're going to send it over immediately.
Down to about half HP, the jump up is there, and Dupree's got to manage a very tough angle, trying to stay alive, and he does so far. There's more coming, and he's not able to do it.
Even worse, the pistols on Dennis, Sip, and Glaive. Report, see if they could do it here. Glaive trying to cause a bit of distraction. Bomb being planted, and that's going to be the round. Kerry coming in with a big con kill. And Astralis absolutely overwhelmed as they take down FaZe in the last possible round.
This is going to be the standoff, the show match.
Number 3 in the main tournament play an exclusive show match. They decide which of the 3 remaining teams they'd like to challenge in 5 different in-game disciplines. 5 rounds, all one-on-ones. You spawn behind cover. The map is symmetrically identical. The winner takes home $20,000.
FaZe versus North.
5-5, it seems like no one's really run away with a map so far. Like, it's still anyone's game. We are going to see all 5 maps regardless, and as long as we don't get blown out the water for the next...
Oh, Nico's got it.
Here we go.
This is done because you saw Nico go. Oh, it's tied! It's tied! Oh my goodness! I think Gordian thought that they were done because Nico says fist bumps. They don't realize that 10-5 is a tie.
Boys, what's going on? What the hell's going on?
I don't know what the rules are here, but I have an idea.
Apparently we have FaZe winning this one due to winning the most rounds. Can we get a Carrigan over here? Come over here, man. It's FaZe Clan 20K. I have your grand finalists. We have Dupree from Astralis and Fallen from SK. Holy hell.
You ever seen 12,000 mobile phone flashlights before?
SK Gaming down 9-0 in the first half of this grand finals, and just like that, they bring it back. A supreme team, indestructible, and Glaive is gonna go down. SK Gaming, your grand finals, the champions here in the first ever Blast Pro Series. What a miracle.
Events we've seen in CSGO, right? It's the viewers here got the best environment, got the best show that I think we've seen.
There's nothing impossible for us.
Against all odds, against the crowd, against it all, SK are your champions. The trophy is yours. SK Gaming are your Blast Pro Series champions!
So that was an event. Yeah.
Was this CSGO Eurovision or?
The Eurovision of CSGO.
Pretty much.
That's gold. Yeah, basically, it was gorgeous.
Pretty much. It was Blast's first event. So 6 teams rocked up. All 6 were on stage at once. So the first day, it didn't run. Technical issues. Otherwise, those servers didn't work. They just decided to postpone it. They came in early in the morning to play those matches, but got them out of the way pretty quick because they had 6 stations to play at. But all in all, fantastic event. Huge. And the CEO came out and said they're looking to do 3 to 4 events next year.
Wow. Good on them. I think like Blast played with a lot of things. They really took this opportunity to be creative and try new things. The UI, especially with alerts as well, like when they went around, it pops in and says SK, you know, SK Gaming wins the round, as we saw there in the clip.
Yeah, it looked like
that
another
stuff was
shell.
cool.
It was like another shell on top of like the ones they use for the majors and stuff.
Yeah. And that was cool, and like I like the positioning as well. Dropping the player names down, actually for me, I feel like it opened up a lot of the view screen as well, so you can actually see a lot more of what's going on.
Yeah, they do that in the major at the moment.
Yeah,
and
PGL's been doing a lot of cool stuff with their overlay.
And so I think it's the same type of deal. It's like sort of UI 2.0.
Yeah.
But it does look nice. I still like them a little bit high, sort of in my field of vision. But I think you get information on the economy as well.
Yeah.
Am I right? Did they change the point scoring format in the qualifications leading up to the
Yeah,
final?
so it was a round robin. So they would play everybody, just one pool of 6 teams that play the 5 matches, and it was only 30 rounds. If it was 15-15, it's a tie game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, different to pretty much anything major in CSGO, majors, minors, even locals that play out till you play, you know,
like a Swiss bracket with overtimes,
That's
or that
right.
kind of, you need a winner. This way worked a little bit differently, and then third got to pick who they played in that standoff.
Yeah, because I think, I watched quite a few matches and I saw 15-15 match and they just stopped. It's like, oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
No extra time. What?
But that's, SK only made it to the grand final then because Astralis 16-14 SK, FaZe. If FaZe tied that game up, it would have been FaZe Astralis.
Oh, wow. Well, look, good on them for trying things new. I liked the trading card take that they had. I thought that was really cool and just something nice that they added into the whole event. Unfortunate that they had technical issues, but also first event. And when you're trying to do what they did in terms of having so many teams, all 6 teams playing all at once.
All broadcasted from there. They had the 3 casting decks side by side.
I mean, that's something that, it's hard to achieve. Well, I also had to look at numbers. There's a couple of articles that have come out surrounding just how well Blast did in broadcasting, because they put it on Danish television. It went on so many different channels because, of course, they wanted people to be able to watch all games all at once, kind of Olympic-style broadcasting, but also made it available in so many different languages.
And people in the studio watching their live could see all the games.
That's right.
They had those screens up there.
And that was really cool. Looking at online stats, 2.5 million unique viewers on 20 Twitch channels in 16 different languages. So just looking at the fact that they put out 20 streams and 16 languages for broadcasting is a feat in and of itself that they should be proud of.
That is a commendable production. I don't think, I mean, I've followed CSGO scene and major tournaments for the last 3 years, and I've never seen the quality of production like that before. I think they've hit, except for obviously the first day, and they've had those delays. But that happens, and I've sponsored tournaments that had 5, 6, 7 hour delays, and kicking off. I mean, it happens. It's not. What can you do? But I think these guys are on the money. Like, they're going to have a really good year next year.
And you look at how packed that stadium was as well. Like when they touched that shot of the lights in the dark. Like, that's what we want esports to be globally. We want that everywhere because the atmosphere of going to those events is just amazing.
Yeah, that's why I said it looked like Eurovision, because the audience looked like they were partying just as hard as people on stage. So that's pretty cool.
It's what we want for esports. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, looking at SK winning on stage, I mean, Fallen's quite a sizable man. I've shaken his hand before and it was firm. And we had a question in the Twitch chat. Dino Nolski's asking, how much do you squat? Because you look pretty swole yourself.
No, I don't. I do runs though. Like, I'll do a 5-6K run every maybe second or third day at home.
I love it.
I don't do gym. Sorry, boys.
It's all right. He stays fit, and that's all that matters, Nolski.
I've got Adelaide flu as well. I'm sorry.
We haven't really treated you well. Our states made you sick, and now we're forcing you to sit between the two of us on a show. So, Lewis, moving local from what was Blast, let's talk about the CG PUBG.
Yeah, so we had the finals on. We were going to do it in the studio here, but unfortunately we couldn't.
I was sick, sorry guys. I was going to be a part of that.
And you were going to have to carry me.
Because
I was in the silver caster for that one, bronze.
I even put my hand up on Twitter to help out, but
we just couldn't get it done, sorry guys. But we did give it to Stabbies, who did an amazing job. So
it's still very complicated in its setup right now for streaming as well, with only one spectator slot. But we do have an image, hopefully we can get it up, of the seating, of the placings. And there's some big orgs in here. Tainted Minds did take it out in the end. Greyhound second, Atletico there at 4th. Mind Freak's in here as well, Surge, Immunity. So big brands are getting behind PUBG.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there a typo there?
No, that's right.
So that's Greyhound, who've been chest puffing and saying they're the best in the region, have 6 average kills?
Well, it's only one under 6.2 for Tainted Minds there. So
but that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Greyhound, they talked a lot of smack, but Tainted won it out.
Oh, I thought they won. Interesting. Okay.
Dino's keeping an eye on
didn't
PUBG.
they prematurely announce on Wednesday that they've already pretty much won? They're the best.
Oh, they thought they had it secured. So
boys, that's why it's not an esports title yet. It's too random. Don't be too confident.
Esports ready is something later.
I watched the stream. They're actually really good players.
They are very good players.
I am having a go, but I'm not having a go.
Dino's always having a go. No, but you're right. It was the thing I like about PUBG and the community that is there is that they are quite fiery. There's a lot of personalities that come out amongst it. It's good. There needs to be a level of banter in esports. Otherwise, it's just bland and beige. So bring it on.
Who plays for Tainted Mind? I don't know.
That's a wonderful question.
Player
Snapshot.
A, player 1.
Snapshot's one of the players for Tainted. I know off the top of my head. I can't recall the others.
Because you casted a couple of weeks.
I did cast a couple of weeks. It was hard because when you're looking at a server full of 64 people across 20 teams, it was hard to remember all names. But Snapshot, I know is Tainted Mind.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Good player.
So sorry to the players.
Sorry, guys. We're trying.
We're getting there. It's another 80 to 100 names that we have to memorize.
That's right. And I forget who that guy at the end of the table is. So we're doomed. But
are you turning into Steve?
I am turning into Steve.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank. Moving on, though, from PUBG results was the ESL Overwatch Open Ladder. And Darkside actually beat Kings to take a lead in an upset 4-3.
No.
Is that what, well, it's what you've written? So
wrong way.
Wrong.
Sorry.
That's what I thought. I thought Kings won.
Yeah, don't listen to that.
Don't listen to any notes you've written.
Don't do that. Darkside, let's just watch the tape.
Let's watch the tape.
Welcome to the ANZ Overwatch Open Season 3, week number 4, because we've got the boys back here. Nightfall, of course, on the keys. Beautiful game between Kings and Darksided. Genome, both these teams are undefeated.
They've had recent matches, most notably the bi-monthly Brawl Finals. Kings came out ahead 4-3. It was a super close match, and this, of course, is the reason we're here tonight.
Kings, they are standing up on defense. They're going to take us to the 7th map, 3-3 in the series. This is what you want to see with the two best teams in OCE.
Modified get puts off the cart with the Primal Rage. Kura, he's got the fade, but he's not going to get there in time. And Kings, yet again, have won a best of 7, 4-3 over Darksided. These guys cannot be stopped.
I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes on the podcast, so peace.
So this is the standings now. Kings get themselves to the top. They did just edge out Darksided. They were 2-0 up, and Kings managed to bring it back for a win in 7. But that is the final standings for round 4. It says round 5-5, but round 5 hasn't been played yet. That's the last round next week. And you can catch that on twitch.tv /Bobby J.
Yeah, so Nightfall's been doing the production for it. Dino's so popular, he's always fielding marketing calls, guys. All right, we can't stop the man. But Bobby J's channel, Nightfall's been hosting that for them in the production side, and so that's always been on they were doing it on AGTV channels, but they've moved it on to Bobby J's channel so they can chase the Overwatch dream, especially with contenders coming soon.
Yeah, and we're going a little bit of a different way with AGTV. We'll go through that in later weeks if we choose to, but I mean, I'm going to be trying to get people's profiles built up a little bit more, and this helps Bobby J there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so check it out. 6:30 Eastern will be the last round.
Looking forward to how Overwatch progresses in the coming weeks, especially with the contenders announcement that everybody's excited for, with Australia having a position in the whole of the contenders leagues. So we'll keep track of that and we'll talk about it moving forward. We do need to look, though, at Gfinity, who have made an announcement this week. It hasn't been much, but they have made an announcement that they are launching in Australia. A lot of people already knew that because they got notifications that Stasha Gruby had signed up to Instagram under Gfinity Oz, and that kind of upset everyone and went, oh, we found that out. But there was official announcements that have come out, as well as the appointment of a CEO. The CEO of the Sydney Sixers Big Bash League side has also come across. He's now working at Gfinity Australia. So interesting to see how that progresses moving forward.
It certainly is. So they've come out with the statement saying in Q2, they're going to come out with some CSGO tournaments.
Right.
Now I got an image of the teams. We went through this week 1, had a little bit of a giggle. You got the Sydney Blue Surge, the Brisbane Deceptors, Melbourne Metattack, the Sydney Obsidian, Adelaide Photonics, Melbourne Revolt, and the Perth Subnet, which is definitely the best name there.
Perth Subnet. See, I don't know. I'm pretty partial to Melbourne MetaTac because I just think it's so aggressive in 2008 esports. Especially like you look at that font. Everybody used that font in like, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 frag movies and montages.
Yeah, and they've put more effort into the logos than New York Excelsior.
They have. At least none of these look like a pattern you find on a Target pillow.
Yeah, no, they're pretty shocking. What
So
teams do you reckon you'll be going for out of those?
So is this already announced? Like this is their final form?
This
Their
is
names?
so far. This is all we know. This is what they announced with their very first announcement.
Well, look, good luck to them, but none of these logos or names look very catchy. I don't know who was doing this, but they probably should revise this for next year.
I've worked out how they've actually got a lot of them. The Rebelette is basically the Sixers side, which is the Rebels, which is red as well.
Right.
Sydney Blue Surge is baseball side, Sydney Blue Sox.
Right, I see.
So they've actually taken a few things there.
That's rubbish.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
it's fantastic.
Nolski's in the chat and he said he protect, but most importantly, he meta-attack. So memes aside though, there has been a lot of speculation that's come around on Twitter, especially regarding what's actually going to happen with Gfinity. And while we aren't going to come out and say anything is set in stone other than the branding that they actually released, we are going to have a bit of a discussion now regarding some of the rumors and a bit of conjecture that's come in, because there have been some leaks around the place where people have discussed proposed formats for what Gfinity is bringing to the table.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it, Dino.
One of my favorite games that Team Immunity played was in 2015, Gfinity against NIP. And it was Sniper, he'll kill me probably for saying this, but he had the most amazing play. They played Dust, and I think he was threw a pop flash, rounded the corner, and as they were coming up short, just mowed him down. They didn't expect him to be there. And there was a lot of crazy plays. Ricky, like sort of just on ramp, just hitting headshots, like looking up short. That's insane. No one knew, like, why would he be standing there with North, but he's crazy. I think Ricky is one of the best players there are in this region. But I was going to say, like, what's the deal with those names that we saw? And if, you know, Immunity, obviously, Nip and all these guys compete overseas at Gfinity, but they're keeping their own naming. What's going to happen with, like, Chiefs and...
Yeah, that's where we're going to get into now.
That's what we need to have a look at. So Gfinity hasn't announced anything.
No.
They haven't
using
talked
reason, we've worked it out.
We have.
just using pure logic as well.
Right.
Like
and a little bit of help from people that I know on the inside who have given us some second-hand information, have given us some first-hand information as well. That's come through.
But that could change as well.
That's right.
Leading in.
Getting to it.
Sort of,
and I'll actually bring up what I had been given on this. And there's some things that, obviously all of this is unofficial and hasn't been released by Gfinity, so take this with a pinch of salt. But information we've been relayed is that each state team will act as a new organisation, which means if you want to play, you have to leave your current org. They are the orgs in their own right, their own teams.
Which we could assume anyway through logic, because no organisation in its right mind would say, yeah, come play with two orgs. It's not going to happen.
And even if they could, I mean, Lewis and I were talking about this in the car earlier when we went to get some dinner, that even if your Chiefs, your Legacy, could invest in these teams for a return on investment, the first thing they would demand is changes in these brandings. Because when you look at the current branding in esports in our region, it just does not look good. It makes us look, with what Gfinity have proposed, it makes us look young, really, really green compared to what we've got established. Further, each state team is not state locked, so you don't have to be from that state to play for that state.
That's like any competition.
Makes sense. You know, you can go and play for Melbourne MetaTac if you're from Perth. Wouldn't recommend it if the servers are in Sydney, but that's the same in every game in esports in our region anyway.
Yeah, but so they travel around the country apparently.
Yes, so apparently there is a LAN every weekend during the season. These LANs are televised and teams will be flown into state for the LANs, basically like mainstream sport. The 36ers for Adelaide NBL go and play the Sydney Kings over in Sydney, you know, and work off of a traditional structure like that. Only thing that really gets me concerned, and there's, again, all of this is just rumours and speculation and secondhand information of people that are close to Gfinity that have given this to us. We're not going to name names because that puts them in a compromising position, but they have given us permission to talk about this. That's the one thing I do want to mention. The thing that scares me the most, each team is salaried. The salary should be good due to this being televised a lot with mainstream sponsors jumping on board, but this league takes priority over everything else, which means this will prevent playing in qualifiers for online comps, even attending online competitions, looking at CSGO, Rocket League, and Street Fighter. So when you have this combination, again, still all speculation, a little bit conjecture, because this is incomplete evidence we've got, but when you've got...
But it makes sense.
You've got exclusivity. These aren't teams that are being invested in by current teams. Players are going to have to leave their teams to go join these teams.
Yeah.
If this is all true and this comes out as true format, I thoroughly disagree with this. Because for me, it feels like they haven't looked at esports in our region, especially when you consider CSGO in our region, even Rocket League to an extent. CSGO, we have teams go over all the time for international events. In fact, we've been reporting on them every week on the show because there's a new international event that one of our teams have qualified for.
Except this week, sorry. But the Chiefs did qualify last week for an international LAN.
Stop that. So that's the thing, like looking at this, if they are actually going to implement exclusivity, to me, it feels like that whoever has organised this at Gfinity hasn't looked at the competitive landscape of CSGO in our region, not to mention Rocket League or Street Fighter. Rocket League, we have teams that have gone internationally, and Chiefs even beat NRG at the most recent RLCS.
Yeah, and that's the peak of where people want to get to. I mean, yes, Gfinity has overseas competitions, which are still very highly regarded, but it's not the RLCS, and you're going to be taken out of contention of that.
That's right.
Have you kind of spoken of record with any of the team owners or people?
I have with some of them.
What are their thoughts about this?
It's all the same concerns.
Okay.
And it's the concerns that anyone endemic to the scene here in Australia, New Zealand has, is that if it comes out this way, it's going to be like a big bag of money being thrown around saying, we'll put you on salaries, let's destroy the ecosystem that's here. Now, we don't want that, and we're not claiming that's what's going to happen. But this is the information that's a bit broken that we've been provided to us, and that's what we have to start going off. This is what team owners are going to have to start assuming from.
Sounds alarming. I don't think an org can just, I mean, a company can just walk in and try to do that. I mean,
well, if you got money,
they threw enough money at it, maybe, but I mean, why would you create so many enemies from the start? Like, shouldn't you be kind of trying to work with
a
large bulk of the community? Actually, that would be a much more successful way to kind of, you know, have a venture, but that's a bit, it's very, if that is true, those rumors, they are very, very unusual. I've never heard of this instance of someone going into, it might have happened in other countries, but
well, they don't run that way in other countries.
Gfinity doesn't do things this way in other countries.
That's what I was kind of pointing out at the beginning, right?
But it looks like that's what they want to do, and still, even like within org owners and whatnot they've been talking to, there's still not a lot of information.
No.
So they're keeping it very close to their chest, much like Overwatch League. But all we want to see is Gfinity come out and go, right, we're just going to be like another, like huge, like be the best tournament organizer.
Yeah.
Like do that. But I'd like to see teams keep their structure. I mean, we got the AFL into esports and more looking.
That's right. And the thing is, when you consider the fact that, because for me, it's not the fact that they have to prioritize Gfinity stuff. I get that. If they're being salaried out of Gfinity, if they're being flown to travel to Gfinity, wherever the studios are, wherever these LANs are being held every week to compete on LAN, then of course prioritize that. It's stable income, which is good for the org and good for the players, and it's being able to play in a very good competitive environment. Like, I get that. The thing that concerns me is that these teams, from what's been rumoured, are not owned by the clubs. They are wholly Gfinity owned. They are simply just teams that have been set up there. So any of the endemic teams we've had in here miss out.
Yeah, so even if they say, look, Chiefs Rocket League team will pay you a good salary, come over to Gfinity, and you can go play RLCS, then the Chiefs, who have invested in these guys, lose all their sponsorship around them, all their numbers.
Yep.
They lose the investment they put into them. They lose the players.
And if that's the case and an official announcement comes through, I have this horrible feeling we're going to see all the teams run over to lawyers, lock up their contracts, and put crazy buyouts, renegotiate their contracts with their players, and put $100,000 buyouts on their players because they go, well, if Gfinity wants to buy them out, they can, because we now, if they go to Gfinity, we lose.
Yeah.
So we need to get buyouts to carry us through.
If they come in with millions and millions of dollars and offer Overwatch League salaries and whatever, then fine. Like, do it nicely.
Yeah.
Do it nicely.
And treat the players well.
Orgs are going to get screwed over. That's just what'll happen. Unless they do come out and it's just a nice, hey, we're a new tournament organizer. We're going to do it best. We're going to do it better than ESL. We're going to do it better than CG. We're still going to fly teams in around the country, right? But you got your branding, whatever. Like, that would be incredible.
And really, with all the news, and Dean, I think you'd agree with me on this, we were talking about this the other day, when you look at teams like the Irewolves getting the SCG, Adelaide Crows working with Legacy for their own performance centre at Amy here in Adelaide.
Just throw that out the window.
Just throw that, where's that investment coming from when you've got teams, and you've got, as mentioned in previous articles, you've got your Essendon, your Collingwood and things like that that are looking.
Yeah. They're only left with League of Legends and Overwatch.
That's why I'm sort of thinking it's probably kind of really bad second-hand information because it doesn't sound very sound, if you know what I mean.
So hopefully we're wrong.
Yeah.
And again, Chat's having a good talk about all of this, and we agree with a lot of what you're saying, guys. This is speculation.
Yeah.
All we want is something that is good for the industry in our region. We just want to see the best happen here.
This is the best information we could come by for what they're looking at doing. It's not firmly set in stone, or even if it was ever true, but we're trying to give you guys the best information that we can get.
But like, even from my perspective, obviously, as someone who sponsors teams like Chiefs and Darkside and whatnot in the community, and we've done a lot of work with CG and whatnot, well, if this does happen, we'll still support that, tier 2 community that needs a helping hand, and we'll still be kind of working with within our means, which we have been way before these St. George banks decided this is kind of a sexy place to invent into. Like, a lot of the hardware guys are your kind of endemic sponsors that have been around since the beginnings, right? But and we're still not going to go away, but they will upset a lot of people.
It will.
Doing this. So it's actually not going to do them any favors. No matter how much money you throw at it, money doesn't fix everything. So.
And I suppose for your end of things, Dean, on the sponsorship side, they're expecting you to throw money at them. They're not throwing money at you to have your brand on their product. So if they're pissing you guys off, then they've got to keep trying to generate revenue their own way.
Oh yeah, that's right. And that's the other thing. How much revenue can you really make from esports in foreseeable future? I mean, it is growing, but can you make enough revenue to be able to pull this off?
Well, if they do have it on television, then probably
Yeah,
I think
because television ad revenue is so expensive. Like commercial ad revenue.
It depends where on TV it goes and whatnot.
Well, that's the thing. Exactly. Where is it going to be placed? I mean, you got gaming shows have all become weird hours and stuff. You're not getting prime time because it's not prime time material yet. So.
And I think like the closest thing we have to prime time is Screenplay on Thursdays, 7:30.
Yeah, but it's not esports.
But that's not esports, it's gaming. And gaming is still something that's very connected.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but even Screenplay, from what I remember, it used to be at 10 o'clock or something, right?
That's right.
Yeah, moved it,
they must have just moved it or something recently.
Yeah, only the last couple of weeks.
So basically, like, they're experimenting with that idea. Maybe they're not going to stick around in that time slot. They have to perform.
That's right.
So if they don't perform, they'll be making money off of something else next season, so that's what I mean. Like,
so it's risky.
Yeah,
very risky. We wish all the best, and if Gfinity would like to say something, I mean, we haven't reached out to Gfinity, we ran out of time, but it would be nice to have Gfinity just publicly announce some details. We know they will do that in their own time, and they'll eventually announce things, put it forward, and say, here's how we're running things.
But if that's the announcement, like pretty much what was said, there's going to be a shitstorm.
Yeah, in no uncertain terms.
I don't think it can be like this. I'm pretty sure these guys are experienced enough to know how to work with different regions.
And surely they're looking at this
they've got
thinking.
Aussies, like, you mentioned that, a couple of Aussies, well, one person in particular that's already involved in the scene, she knows things around here, it's not going to go start, burning bridges like straight up, right? So
yeah, that's right.
And even though the manager may not be your typical kind of esports, this kind of scene type of person, like, he'll still, these people are not going to go against some sound advice from people from the community that are part of this organisation. So I think it should be fine. Yeah.
I think so as well. We'd like to assume Gfinity is doing their due diligence and actually thinking about what they're doing moving forward. And of course, we'll stay up to date on any Gfinity announcements and follow up when they come true. But that's enough speculation for now. Lewis, let's have a look at the Overwatch contenders confirmed moving to OCE.
Yeah, certainly right. So I've got a little image here as well. So this is going to be the 7 contenders nations. North America, Europe, China, Korea, and the South Pacific. They've already had it.
Mm-hmm.
South America and Australia are being added to those. So these are going to be the feeders for the Overwatch League.
Yes.
So this is going to be like your OCS for Oceanic League of Legends.
Right.
Your Tier 2, your Division 2.
I wonder how many people play Overwatch at Greenland.
In Greenland?
Mm.
That's a really good question, Dino.
I didn't have the stats for that.
What's the size of that, land mass or ice mass?
Yeah. That's the world. That's the issue of putting a curved world on flat.
That's it. Everything's distorted because Australia is actually so much bigger than it looks compared to that map.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue. There's YouTube videos all over it, but it's a little bit.
There is.
You know why Australia's in that?
Why?
You guys should know that, right?
Why is that, Dino?
It's the shoey.
It's the shoey.
Right. And we've got more on that later.
We have more on that later, Dino. Shoeys feature prominently in this episode. You're going to be really proud.
But it's good to see. They've announced an open ladder as well. So basically, if you do well enough in competitive, then you get invited to go to sort of like the open ladder finals to try and make it into contenders.
Cool. Sounds good. I mean, this is something that a lot of Overwatch people in this scene have been screaming for, is we cannot wait for contenders to come here because we've had open running with ESL for ages. So it's good. It's a stepping stone. It's talking about progression, which is a topic we've talked a lot about in all esports.
Grassroots is being helped.
It is being fostered, and thank God. Because that's what we want. We want Overwatch to be successful.
Yeah.
It is a great title. Blizzard's backing it, and they have a lot of resources to do so. So this is just the next step for Australia to be put on the map, as well as South America. So thank God.
That's fantastic.
Moving forward, again, we'll keep up to date with contenders and get you all the information when we can. Hopefully we can see some friendly faces that we know and love actually commentating on contenders when it comes through. So it's not going to be us, but your Bobby J, Xenox and Genome with rackets, and maybe even Nightfall get on production.
That'd be really good.
That'd be awesome. But Lewis, this was something that you'll be looking at for your pro esports career moving forward. This is DreamHack with the Silver Snipers.
Yeah, that still probably beat me though. We've got a little video again for this one. These guys are called the Silver Snipers. The youngest is 62, the oldest is 81. They're being coached by Potty, former champion with NIP. And these are the 5 players. They've got between 53 and 69 hours played. The youngest 62, the oldest 81. But this is brilliant. It's being put up by the Lenovo booth at DreamHack Winter. And you can actually challenge these guys. You go to the website, just Google Silver, Silver Snipers.
Yep.
They don't look like they played a game in their life, man. Is this for real?
This is for real, Dino. This is for real. This is what Lewis is waiting 40 years to get involved with right now.
I'm getting involved with you, man. Just
so you can challenge, if you're going to DreamHack Winter, you can challenge to play these guys. Now the hours are going to be significantly increased as they are boot camping with the former NIP champion.
Wow.
Which game, sorry?
CSGO.
CSGO. Oh, wow.
Dino, you're in for a shot, mate.
So, yeah, most of them have like a kill-death rating of like 0.5.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Depending on who they're coming
It's not
against.
too great, but it's the best sort of esports niche thing that I've seen in a while. That's better than...
I'm super excited.
Blast 1v1.
Cool. I watch the Grandpa PUBG Grandpa sometimes. I like watching Twitch streamers. It's kind of cool. He's actually pretty decent. Like he's a bit slow, but like he's he locks in pretty good. Like and
his
he's
clever.
True. He's sort of thinking things through, and he's sort of roughly knows positions around, all the threats around, and not bad,
I'll just go through the names real quick.
All right.
So for the 2 females, you've got Teen Slayer and the Knitting Knight.
Oh, those are gold.
Right. Then you go over to the guys, Birdie.
Yep.
Windy.
Windy.
And Berra Bang.
And what?
Berra Bang.
Berra Bang.
Yeah. And Birdie is spelled like Burr Die. So it's like, yeah, they're going to. I love Windy. Like that's a name.
What was the second one? The lady, something
Knitting
Night. Knitting Night. Oof.
She's out there with her knitting needles, mate.
Watch out for knife rounds.
Oh yeah, she's coming at you strong with that yarn.
That's it. But yeah, you can go play with them. Also, DreamHack put out a little video. Don't have it here. We won't go into it too much. It could have been a teaser. A little sneaky little thing that there may be a DreamHack Australia. Maybe. Next year. So
they could have just got their locations mixed up, which they did in the video.
Yeah, with like a Steve Irwin looking dude with a koala.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It looked pretty promising. Hopefully, we could get a DreamHack here.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. It would be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Lewis, we have had another interesting esport come through.
Yeah, with Flying Finn.
Yeah, no joke. The F1 series.
Yep. So Formula One have come in. Championship came down to last lap as well. They do 3 races, but we'll let the video explain. Hopefully.
Maybe. We might have a video.
The finals are a 3-race championship held over 2 days. Every race is held over a 25% race distance. The third and final race is fittingly on the Abu Dhabi track. Right then, first up is the Canadian Grand Prix. Your casters are Davide Valsecchi and Jack Nicholls.
More than main events now. Cembolok Bassi wins in Spa, wins the second race of the F1 Esports Series Grand Final here in Abu Dhabi. A round of applause from the boss. Brendan Lee, the man from Reading, is under big pressure now. Look at the focus in his eyes because Sven Zerner behind has the DRS and he wants to make a move for the championship. Up the inside and they make a bit of contact and he goes wide. Brendan Lee cuts the corner, gesticulates towards Sven Zerner. They're still side by side on the exit and Zerner is through. Here comes Brendan Lee. Denoso covers the inside line. We're on the final lap. It's the battle for the lead and Lee sells the dummy and he just gets through up the inside and Denoso has to cut the corner and he's been given a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner and that surely is going to hand Brendan Lee the championship. Here comes Brendan Lee through the final corner. He has had to work for it, but he takes victory in Abu Dhabi and surely victory in the F1 Esports Series of 2017. The first ever F1 Esports champion. He's shaking his head. I think he's a bit stressed.
You should be happy because today you were amazing.
The first ever Formula One Esports champion, it's Brendan Lee!
Now, Lewis, we're having some discussion in the chat. People saying these casters are tier 1. Fun
They
fact,
are.
They actually are.
They're tier 1. You had Jack Nicholls, who does the radio for BBC, the live coverage, and on the Formula One app. So that goes to both. And David Valsecchi, I probably said that horrendously, he's the Italian pit lane reporter. Like, they went and got the best guy. Like, they were next level.
Yeah.
And there as well, one of the owners of the teams, it's called FA Racing G2 Logitech.
Right.
So in conjunction with G2 and Logitech, Fernando Alonso
FA
is in on that. So we saw him there. His team came second, I believe. Well, he's like, if you don't know about Fernando Alonso, 2-time World Formula One champion. He's won 32 races. He's driven with Renault, McLaren, Ferrari, and he's currently back at McLaren. Like absolute tier 1 stuff, beautiful setup.
Yeah.
And like that game looks mint.
It does. And I mean, we've looked at things like this in the past. We had, of course, the supercars that was run with Harvey Norman locally, which was something amazing. And I think looking at motorsports as esports, especially with the setups and the kind of technology we're coming through. I mean, you even see on Facebook with the hydraulic lifts in those massive mounts where you feel the actual turns. That kind of stuff is just next level, and I think if we can embrace that as an esport, I think we'll see it go far.
Yeah, that was actually better than watching F1. There was more action. Like you'd have 3 people jostling at a turn, and right there you saw in the very last lap, that was for the victory of the championship. So whoever won that out of those 2 players in first, and they overtook each other, like they
looked tight.
One by one. So yeah, hype was real, production quality next level. I mean, Formula One coming in and doing it. Keep an eye out on, was it? Oh, I didn't put the thing down. F1 2017 Esports.
Yes.
That is the Twitch channel. Give it a follow, because if that pops live, you want to be watching.
Absolutely. We do have a fair bit that we want to get through for the rest of the night, and we do apologise for starting late, guys, so we'll try and push through as much as we can, because there has actually been a lot of little changes and updates, but we do have our major story for tonight, which is the announcement from Riot Oceania regarding changes to the League of Legends competitive scene here for OCE moving into 2018. To give you the summary, essentially how it worked for 2017 is there were two splits, split 1, split 2. Between those splits, and you do have the, in terms of structure, you've got the Oceanic Premier League, or the OPL, you've got the Oceanic Challenger Series, OCS, and the Oceanic Open Ladder, Div 3, OOL. The changes coming through change a lot of that structure. What used to happen, and what we saw in 2017, is at the end of each season, there's a relegation period.
And there are 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Oh, that's right, there is 2. Yeah, 3 seasons. So, at the end, there was relegation periods. What would happen is 2 teams from the top.
3.
Well, there's a gauntlet for that 7th place between 6 and 7. Or there's a playoff.
Yeah, but they still have to play off.
That's right.
So they're still involved.
But it comes down to 2 OPL teams versus 2 OCS teams playing off against each other to see who goes up to OPL and who drops down to OCS.
In double elimination.
That's right. Essentially, if you don't really count the 6th place team because they had that face-off, it was 4 teams, and this would happen twice. And they would have these opportunities for promotion.
Well, 3 times a year,
yeah. Right? So, moving forward, this changes. The OCS is now going to have a full year season, and there is only going to be 1 team trying for relegation here. One
so
from
they still
the
have
OPL,
their splits?
one from the OCS, no splits. It's a full year season starting in April.
I love that.
Now, this has been done for a multitude of reasons, and there are a lot more changes as well. I've got the post here. You can actually find this on the oce.lolesports.com website.
Yeah, just paste it in the chat.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. Right here. Here's the link. I'm going to.
Because it's a bit long.
There you go, guys.
We can push through
It
on
is.
this.
We're going to address a few things, but basically, instead of 2 relegation matches per split, they have the 1. It has a 12-month season now in the OCS. One of the other big changes is that the OCS is now going to have 14 teams. 8 of those teams are going to be sister teams for the 8 OPL teams.
Yep.
Those teams are feeder teams to find new talent. The other 6 teams are OCS teams. They're just independent. That's all it is. Now, there's a lot of changes surrounding moving forward. You know, what if an OPL team that's a sister OCS team gets promoted to OPL that's a sister team? And you can find all of that out in the document. We don't need to go over that now.
The OPL teams can own OCS teams?
They will own an OCS team.
All of them.
Oh,
all of them.
Okay.
So 14 teams, plays out over a full year. And the Oceanic Open Ladder is actually going to be replaced with grassroots events organised by OCS teams and by things like your ESL, Showdown, Cybergamer.
Yep.
So looking at other grassroots events to build up that, those are going to feed in for a player base that can then be picked out of to develop the OCS, because the whole plan is really to develop the OCS into a feeder for the OPL.
Yeah.
All it is to find new talent and foster that. My favourite thing about all of this was that Riot announced they did not take care of the grassroots open ladder community enough.
Yeah, we said that in what, episode 1 or 2? We
Yep.
talked about it for a little bit. They just hadn't been talking about it.
And we said that we talked about that from personal experience, Lewis, where we said we'd actually commentated the Oceanic Open Ladder several times.
You don't. I hope those VODs don't exist.
They do exist,
Right.
and maybe not after tonight, because Lewis did his first Open Ladder cast with me, and I'm pretty sure that was the first cast we ever did together.
No, we did some Rocket League.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
But I think that change is good. And moving it into community organisations and other TOs as well, like your CG, your ESL, and your Showdown, Throwdown, I think is a good move, because we can promote League of Legends at the grassroots level, help Riot out with stuff in their, like their high school leagues,
awesome,
and really build something up. But this has so many implications. We were talking about it before the show, Lewis, in that a year-long season, cool, that means that going a year-long season, OPL teams looking at investment in houses and offices and working spaces can sign 12-month leases and base it around a calendar year.
And the hype you can generate over a year season as well, like AFL, like NRL, just run it properly. Every team faces each other like twice or something.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I think that's the way to move forward. There's a whole heap there. Have a look. Here's the link again. I'm going to chuck that in chat again. Oh, probably not
17
that many times. Let's go 3. There you go, guys. So have a look at that and have a read for yourselves if you're interested in what's going on with Oceanic League of Legends, because 2018 is going to be a very different year.
Oh, yes.
Pushing through as well, looking at AEM coming up on this weekend, the Australian Esports Masters, not this weekend, next weekend, sorry. This weekend is the local, and then next weekend we have AEM for CSGO, and then following that we have the CGPL Champs. AEM will be moving forward. We're going to be having 8 teams here at the Cybergamer Studios playing out for their chance at a share in $8,500, I think the prize pool is, off the top of my head. And look, it's a great grassroots effort. But there have been some issues on Twitter today regarding seeding, and so a lot of back and forth. Basically, there was some issues regarding where a team should be placed in the seeding, and I don't really think we need to go into it much more than that, because ultimately they'll be here playing.
What it came down for me was seeding was done a little bit too early.
Yep.
There was still a couple of games to be played.
Yep.
Teams then booked flights around playing times, because 4 teams play in the morning, 4 teams play in the afternoon.
That's right.
So, say if you booked your flights for the morning of that Saturday, you can't play the morning of that Saturday. So you can't really change it around.
Plus, there is some games that are going to be done the Friday night before, because otherwise AEM in past seasons has been a very long
so they are
event.
going to do some Friday?
Yeah, there will be some Friday night matches.
Cool. So, it's unfortunate that it wasn't a nice, neat to what it ended out as, but still going to be a good event.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, these teams are still coming to the event, and we still expect teams that may have been affected by this seeding, they should still do very well. The teams that were affected were first seeds that were put in different groups and went undefeated in their bracket. Or in their
so it's like a
season.
coming seed 2 to first or whatever.
That's right. I think overall, I don't think the impact is going to be large, especially when you look at the actual groups for the event, and looking at the, I think it's Group B that has your, they've got a 7th and 8th placing for the season, a undefeated placing for the season, and a 50-50 chance, basically. I mean, you'd expect that a CS team that hasn't lost all season should come to LAN and perform.
Too easy.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll see how they go.
Don't announce you're winning before your tournament.
Don't puff your chest out too much, is Dino's favourite advice. Lewis, a topic that's hot on your mind is the Pale Horse Rocket League team going to Tainted Minds.
Oh, yep. So Pale Horse, they went to RLCS. Key has moved on now. They've got Jules, as they're called, and they've moved over to Tainted Minds.
Right.
So Tainted Minds moving into Rocket League. Good to see. Unfortunate for Pale Horse, because they had such a good side there.
They did.
But Tainted Minds, they should be able to do good things in Rocket League.
And I think as well, it's interesting because only just recently Pale Horse announced their acquisition from Mocket.
Yes.
So looking at how Mocket's interacted globally, not just that, but looking at the fact that...
It doesn't have the best reputation.
And not just that either, but Mocket's just bought in. You've got a team that comes from our region that goes internationally. You'd think they'd want to hold on to that team.
Yeah.
But contracts were up. I think the players decided they'd go elsewhere. Maybe offers weren't
Yeah, it's the end of the year. It's the shuffle.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate for Power Horse, but great for TM. That's a huge pickup.
And leading out from that is the E-League Rocket League as well. We knew this was going to be happening because Chiefs accidentally let it slip at ESL.
Oops.
And Lewis, you've got some confirmed details for us.
Yeah, certainly right. So Saturday, Sunday and Monday, this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, starting at about 5:30 a.m. Eastern, you're going to have this. We'll give you a nice video.
We might
maybe
give
not,
you a video.
Maybe not. We'll get there eventually.
Maybe.
We'll get there eventually, but I'll just run through some more. It was top 8. It was speculated that it would be top 8 from RCS. It ended up Chiefs, Gale Force, or in Group 1, Chiefs, Gale Force, current world championship, champions, G2 and Ghost.
Okay.
So Chiefs do really have a potential there to come second out of the group.
They do.
Video.
And it's coming to E-League. The greatest teams in the world have been invited to Atlanta to compete in the E-League Cup Rocket League, coming this December.
So this is going to be broadcast live on Twitch and then delayed on TV over 3 weeks.
Cool.
To, I think, TBS in the States. On the left, you have Jake, Drippe in the middle, and Torsos on the right. That is the team that's representing, essentially, Oceania.
Yeah.
Over in America for that tournament.
I watched some of the gameplays from versus Cloud9 and Columbus. guys are really good.
And I mean, Lewis, you weighed in on a Red Bull Esports article in the past week, last week. Yeah. And had some good insight on that, which I thought was cool as well. That article was actually very well written about the state of Rocket League in our region and what to expect. And I agreed with you a lot on what your points were with Chiefs as a performing team, and the fact that they come from a region that's so small, similar to, Dino, you'd know problems with CS. We can't exactly scrim against SK or FaZe. So it does make it harder, but the Rocket League boys had actually been scrimming against Northern American teams on ridiculous ping to keep their skills up over at Chiefs, which I thought was great. And that's, 100 milliseconds plus 100 or 180 milliseconds of ping is a fair bit, but to be able to get that experience.
They can still.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it made the article or not, but I did say, I want to see Chiefs have a chance against Gale Force or Method. Those two. They haven't ever had a chance in competitive against a top EU team.
Yeah.
And they got the world champions in their pool. So we're going to see how they go there.
Gale Force.
Gale Force. And they've got Turbo Pulse in there, who's the current two-time. He's won ROCS twice in a row.
Yeah.
So they're going to be very difficult. But G2, they lost in a tight 5. And Ghost, they haven't played yet, but definitely potential there. So Chiefs, they could actually come out of the pool stage there.
And we hope they do. Good luck to them. We'll keep up to date on the E-League Rocket League. It should be an amazing event. The production quality is beautiful. And best of luck to our Chiefs boys as they head over.
And that's on the E-League channel as well. Sweet. So just straight up /E-League. Are we looking at the ER Awards?
Yes, we should have a look at the ER Awards.
The ER Awards.
Do you want to explain these? Because IEM Sydney was actually up for an events award.
Yeah, so the Exhibition and Event Association of Australia Awards.
ER.
Wow.
So double E, double A with an awards at the end, so yeah. So IEM Sydney was up for Best New Show and Best Show Team.
Wow.
They should have easily won that.
It did. Yeah, they won both of those. And for anyone who missed IEM, here's a little taste.
That was awesome.
Eventually.
Maybe. We're sorry, guys. It's the Adelaide weather. It's messed everything up tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a sound I can get used to.
Should we put Sherry on the line?
Oh, should we?
Oh, God. What have I done?
Pommies are wankers! Pommies are wankers!
And that was OJ Borg, the host.
Yeah.
That's one cool brick, man. I don't know what to say, but aren't they in Adelaide for Ashes and stuff?
Yeah, they are. They are.
They'll get smashed.
They will get smashed.
But Shuey, that's why DreamHack's coming to Australia.
That's right.
I'm calling it
you
right
had a
now.
premonition, man. You knew it was going to happen.
Now, parents, don't get too scared off by that. There was some esports that went off.
There was very competitive esports that happened at IEM Sydney.
Yeah, but so best new show and best show team. So that even sort of counts us there, Judge. We were team. We were commentators for the Rocket League.
We were on the community stage.
Exactly.
We'll chalk that up as a win, even though we weren't involved with the Counter-Strike at all.
No, it was an inclusive event of everything.
That's right. That's right.
We broke a world record at the event. We're right next to you guys. Not CSGO, but hey, we were there.
You were a part of that team.
We were part of that. We'll take some of that.
Yeah, heck yeah,
So
we will.
There was so much going on there. It's brilliant. Hopefully it comes back next year. But yeah, 2 awards there as well. So
congratulations, ESL and IEM Sydney, for the success.
Well deserved.
That's well deserved.
And it's great fun. Head down.
Looking forward, Lewis, into the week that is going to be in our event preview. We've got the Gigabyte LAN, which we briefly spoke about earlier. We've got AEM, and of course we'll have CGPL champs coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
We certainly will. CGL champs will have Chiefs, Greyhound, Tainted Minds, Legacy, Masterminds, and Ground Zero.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so Masterminds and Ground Zero are the 2 qualified teams. The other 4 were invited through previous seasons.
Awesome, and keep up to date with that, Cyber Gamer. This CGPL Champs had a little bit of turmoil getting off the ground with making sure that we could get teams here and get teams qualified.
Yeah, it was supposed to be this weekend. However, Ashes put
That's
up
right.
prices. It hasn't gone as planned. We'd hope there would have been 8 teams, but again, it's sort of just...
And it's a learning curve moving forward, I think, for Cybergamer into 2018. I think that looking at the calendar for next year, they'll have a look at champs and see how they can work it and make sure we've got a smoother transition, I think, for the scene, which will be nice. Looking at current events, though, T-Ball, what's going on at the moment?
What's going on at the moment? Well, we hopefully we have our free-to-play sort of list.
We do have, and this is an updated list from last week that you had, isn't it?
Well, it's not so much the free-to-play list anymore. I've included some sort of buy-in tournaments.
Okay, cool.
So when we get a nice little graphic up there, we'll have a look.
How's it going, Steve? Is that graphic coming? I think so. I think it's coming.
He's copping a bit of slack today.
The poor guy, look, he's our producer and he's a wonderful producer. He does amazing things every week, but today has just been a ridiculous day. So,
yeah.
No graphic?
So it starts with week 9. It's called week...
Mate, you didn't link a graphic in the Discord, Lewis. What are you doing?
No, in clips. It's in the clips folder. Here we go.
He's gonna get there.
And oh, there we go.
He comes out. Oh, I found it. Don't worry, guys.
There we go.
Oh, wow. This is top tier production. We are the best.
Here we go. So, if you want to get involved in esports, there's a lot there. There's Rocket League. It's basically the same as last week. I think the ESL Monthly Championships is going on tonight, so we might send out a host to that. But there's where you can watch them as well. CSGO is the Gigabyte $3,000 LAN. That's going to be here. It's $100 entry per team.
I'm pretty sure.
Believe.
Yeah.
And that's, this weekend, 2nd and 3rd of December. That Paladins thing's still going on. You can still sign up for week 3. StarCraft 2. This is a big one. You can actually qualify, open qualifier. You can qualify for IEM Pyeongchang, South Korea.
Right.
$150,000 tournament.
Yeah.
We get 1 slot. And it's just going to be a straight up 1 versus 1 tournament. You can sign up on the ESL site at Play ESL Gaming or follow that link that's there. Type it in because it's not a hyperlink, obviously.
Obviously.
But if you're, so that's going to be Friday, December 8th in the evening. Sign up at least 15 minutes before. But yeah, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and all those other countries, you're eligible. Get involved. Dota 2, you've got 2 as well. I think that Ducky's Gaming Lounge, I think that's sold out, I think, to play. You can go and watch it, though. But there is potentially a Zen League one that you can go play.
A Zen Gaming Lounge?
Yeah. Zen Gaming has some League of Legends, Hive Gaming as well.
Yep.
All there, so lots of grassroots you
Get
can go get
amongst
involved in. This is open to any and all comers. There's a League of Legends tournament series as well coming out of Sydney.
Cool.
So they've got it for bronze 5 to gold 1.
Right.
For a lower tier, and then a bronze 5 to, I think, challenger.
Right, for open tier.
Yeah, so then there's about 6 weeks of league play. So
that's cool.
Yeah, you got to sign up quickly for that if you're interested. In Sydney, it's on George Street in Sydney.
Right.
So
I've got to say though, that StarCraft 2, Probe's currently sitting 15th in the world at the moment for StarCraft. He plays on Legacy, and I've got a feeling Probe's going to be going to Pyongyang. That's just that's a feeling. He is a damn good player.
Go beat Probe.
Yeah, rock up to LAN and beat Probe. And see how
well, it's not a LAN, it's just online qualifiers.
Oh, that's true.
You're scaring people away already.
Yeah, don't scare people away. Go play. Go see what it's like to
I'm putting my feeling out there. I think Probe's going to win. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
People do it consistently. Every day of the week they prove me
him wrong as well. And I think hopefully we could get a graphic of the current standings for, there we go. So we've got the 5 teams, SYF and Downfall are in the lead there. Legacy and 1F are playing tonight. Legacy's actually should have T-Gun playing tonight.
Oh, T-Gun tonight. For those of you unaware, T-Gun was playing in the League of Legends OPL before coming back home to StarCraft, which is where he was prior to playing League.
Yeah.
So he's
for
come
next
full
year.
circle.
For next year to probably go back to League of Legends.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as League of Legends starts up for 2018, he'll be back there.
It's not a huge prize pool tournament. It's a bit of fun.
Yep.
So bit of off season.
Yeah, but we'll see how they go. Interesting to see that Legacy was sitting in 4th down there.
Yeah, that's because they've only had their one match played against the leaders.
Yeah.
And it did go to 5 games.
Yeah, so interesting, but of course...
And Probe didn't win his second match. That's why they lost. So, see, maybe not Probe
Maybe Probe won't go overseas.
So we'll watch out.
Oh, my God. So that's the upcoming Grassroots, but we are at everybody's favourite part of the show. We do have a couple of things coming up after this, but you just can't beat the e-gaming award.
Blasting them. I'll let them all fucking frag out for.
Wait.
What?
So Player
Let's
Unknowns.
walk us through this.
So Player Unknowns picks up the e-gaming award for being esports ready. Basically, that was Shroud, former CSGO professional with Cloud9, over $200,000 in tournament earnings.
Yep.
He's now a full-time streamer for Cloud9, and he was there streaming away and died in 4th because he was on the ground and died from fall damage.
And so that's why we keep saying PUBG is esports ready, because it doesn't matter how well you're hiding in a building, the game will find you and kill you. So well played, bad luck Shroud. He's a phenomenal player, and he didn't quite deserve to die to floor tiles.
Yeah, so we saw a little bit of the mess and glitchiness at, what is it, the previous event, the IEM?
Yes, we did.
Tournament. And we looked at it in the clip, but that's next level.
Dino, what's your thoughts on PUBG here?
I love PUBG, but it's not an esports game. And why does it have to be shoved in our faces to be one? Like, it's a great game, it's a fun game, but it's too random. And there's just, you need a lot of good luck to be fed with circles. And of course, you know, you can make some decent decisions. You know, you obviously have to rely on the skill, but I don't, in this format, it's not ready and probably doesn't need to be. Just let it be what it is.
I mean, it's the most played title on Steam globally. It's cracked over a peak of 2 million concurrents, which is absolutely, that was the last time I checked.
Yeah, was it like 20 million purchases or something?
Yeah,
like,
20, like it is blown up. And
I think what they need to do first is fix all the friggin' bugs.
It's still in beta. It's still in beta, and it's like
well,
esports ready, $200,000. That's why it's a great game. Play it. It's fun, but just expect to have a couple issues.
How long is it going to be in beta for? Apparently, it's like not going to be in beta for long, right?
Forever, Dino.
Yeah,
I just got word there's 26 million copies.
Right.
26 million copies. Damn. That's unreal.
2.6.
2.6. I was going to say 26.
Sorry.
Thanks, Steve.
Our production assistant didn't make the dot big enough for the 2.6.
So before we wrap up for this week, you may have seen that on the esports show Twitter, we put out a poll the other week asking, would you remove your ad blocker if pre-show advertisements embedded into Twitch didn't play? So you could just click on the channel and watch. We had 94 votes in that, which was actually a pretty good turnout. I didn't think we'd have so many votes, and thank you to everyone that voted. But of that, 62% of the votes said yes, they would uninstall adblock or remove adblock for Twitch if pre-roll ads never played. Yep. So interesting. It's an interesting discussion around the monetization of Twitch. That is maybe something we think about for a future show.
Yeah, certainly right. It would definitely help people. I mean, like, if I try and check a stream quickly on my phone, I had a 30-second ad. It's impossible.
It is.
Yeah, you actually have to have ad block on to stream, to be a streamer.
That's right. Because even if you go to host someone, on Twitch, you know, you finish your stream for the night, put the host forward, and you go to jump in their chat and watch their stream to hear them say, oh, thanks heaps, Judge Brand, for the host. You get an Omen by HP ad that rips your eardrums out, and then you miss all the action.
Yep.
You guys can blame me. I put those ads up. I'm the ads guy.
I knew it.
You know what? I'll tell you something. Like, I also get annoyed by a lot of these ads because they're just bad. Like, at least make it good so we don't have to have this debate about should we, you know, pause our ad block or not. Like,
if ads were interesting, and it's been proven time and time again, Australians, we don't mind paying a reasonable price for quality content, and we don't mind watching advertisements as long as they're decent ads. I don't want to see something that's produced for community television on Twitch.
Yeah, and at an appropriate time.
That's right. We'll have another poll out for you this week. Not sure what it's going to be, but we'd really appreciate if you get involved. It's great to have conversation with you guys as the viewers, because ultimately esports is all about what you guys watch, not so much what us three people sitting at a desk watch. So make sure you get involved with us. That'll be up on the Esports Show Twitter, at the Esport Show. And make sure you stay tuned with that. Other than that, Lewis, we have something nice to finish on.
Yeah, I think we're just going to lead out with a nice little preview for DreamHack Winter in Stockholm.
Awesome. So we'll get to that in just a moment, but I do want to take this moment to say thank you to both of you, Lewis T-Ball Gratz, and of course Dino from Gigabyte here on the desk for tonight. Thank you so much for being involved in the conversation, Dino, and putting in your opinions. We love it. Nice to get something a little bit different on the show as someone from outside of the consumer base. So here it is, guys. Have a suss of DreamHack for Winter.